Righteous Consultant 333, like and subscribe. Send this motherfucker far and wide. Hope all is well. Hope all is well. It's real windy over here. On my side of the town, wind blowing extremely hard. You hear all the wind chimes. That's cool. But I'm glad that I'm able, to put this out because I know someone actually need this help. And I know when I seen the stuff I seen on YouTube and different social media platforms, um, a lot of that stuff was, it helped me, and it wasn't there. I wouldn't have even thought about the stuff that I'm doing right now. So all this stuff ties in and it happens for a reason, so to speak. Um, I teach people how to dispute, not just only about, not only disputing this thing off your consumer report, your credit report, this dispute in general, because things will happen. You're like, damn, why you always gonna speak stuff into existence? I'm just keeping it real. Things will happen, even if you're rich or poor. You still need to know how to dispute to get the remedy, to get the whatever you want, situated, out of that problem or that matter. They say, if you don't know how to dispute, it's a wrap because companies know that they be in the wrong. They don't care, and when you don't know how to speak up for yourself in a manner to be heard according to the court of law, even though this is not legal advice, I'm not a lawyer at all. This for education purposes. I'm trying to help you guys prepare yourself because stuff will happen. And when things happen, you be ready. You don't have to be scared because, that's what they rely on. They really don't want you to know this information because it's a major tool you can utilize and add to your tool belt because it's not just for credit situations, for all situations, any situations. What's it, what thing that like even when you go to the store, you join like, you know, um anything, like should most of the things have, arbitration clause and you want to learn how to, defend yourself. You need to know what's going on. I mean, to the people that just, I don't talk about people, but the people that have very, little knowledge of who they are, it's probably gonna go over their head because most people are walking around and nobody's home, just lights. It's nobody home. They just going day to day. They don't have a lower level of consciousness, so they don't really understand what's going on. So those people are not going to really even pay attention. I mean, the people that have high level of consciousness, right? They know that money's not everything, but it's a tool that we need it. And things will happen. And if you don't know how to prepare yourself, you're gonna get screwed. And if it's a way that you could prepare yourself and you could do it easily, why not learn it? That's what I had to do because things kept on happening. And every time you seek out to get help, nobody even want to help you. It's like, if you don't know this stuff yourself, you screwed. You can't really depend on nobody else. Ain't nothing like, depend on yourself. So you want to know this information. You want to know this information. So you can help yourself, the people you love, and everything else. So back to disputing, you know, um, I like to talk about, FCRA. I like to talk about, credit because credit is the bridge from poor to rich. If you poor, you can utilize credit to make you rich. Well, this by having a good credit score and other little factors as well. People just want a good credit score just to show it all, but they're not utilizing it what it's supposed to be utilizing it for. It's not really for you just to get a nice car or some clothes or some stupid shit like that, which is nothing wrong. But if you're not in a position that you don't, that money's not a problem, it don't even make no sense to even get them things first. You want to acquire assets because assets print out money, then you can use them assets to buy the stuff that you want. You got to do things accordingly, or you can always be in a position of broke. And they don't teach us that on purpose. You got people that have PhDs that don't know this information. It's not because they dumb, they not. It is they purposely, systematically don't teach us this so you can always be a slave to the system. So you need to fight back. It's just what it is. And you want to learn this information so you can fight back. So I always talk about credit because I know if you poor, you can utilize credit to get you rich. And what are you talking about, righteous consultant? What are you talking about, man? How can you use credit to get you rich? Well, if your consumer report is, you don't have no, negative, accounts on your consumer report, and add, primaries accounts, trade lines, age courts, you get, you know, transactions going to a business checking account. You could do things with that. A few other things as well, but you could do things with that. You could go to a bank and get $25,000 business credit card, $50,000 business credit card. You can do that. You can go to multiple banks and do that if you got a strategy. If you know this bank pulled from this so-called credit bureau, you can go to all of these banks that pull from there, and they're not gonna see when you got money from the other places that pull from the other places. So if I got three banks that pull from Experian, and I got three banks that pull from TransUnion, the ones that I went to TransUnion, they don't see the other ones that been pulled, because when they see all that other stuff, you don't look thirsty, and they gonna flag you. You're not gonna get anything, or not as much. So you could line this stuff up and attack right according. Just don't go all blind. Just don't freestyle shit all the time. Have a plan and stick to it. Learn some shit. You don't got to learn nothing from me. It's other people that's telling stuff out there that that's really know what they're talking about. Me, I'm disputing it, and I make it really easy. I learned in a hard manner, but I have a higher level of consciousness. So I was able to absorb the information. Everybody don't have a high level of consciousness. It's people that got higher levels than me, you know. But I could break it down in a layman's terms to anybody can understand, and it could be easily done utilizing AI. You don't have to be tech savvy or computer savvy, anything. I do most of the stuff on my cell phone. I'm making thousands of dollars a day on my cell phone, and it's possible because I utilize AI in my brain. And I learned some shit because I paid to learn some stuff. That's what you need to do if you want to. This is not financial advice. But I mean, you know, unless you find, what situation you in. I don't know. Some people probably in good situation. They're not tripping. They probably got a cool job, nice salary. They got, the house, whatever. They cool. But me personally, I don't, I couldn't go that route because I seen it was a cap that route. It's only so much you can make that route, and when you have your own business, it's no cap. There's no limit. What you make annually, you can make monthly sometime in your own business, and it's not hard. So I'm not trying to, really, work for anyone because for my situation, it doesn't make sense. And I get way more work for myself. I get way more freedom, way more peace of mind, everything. I can leave this business to my family. I can put it in my trust. There's too many things I can do. You can't leave your job to this, you know what I mean? To if you got a W-2 and you working for a major company, you barely probably can get your people in, let alone just leave your position to somebody. You know what I mean? That's not gonna happen. So I just think about things in a different manner. Not that I'm better than nobody. I'm just, think things in a different manner. And I'm looking at things from multiple perceptions, not just one sided. So disputing, you want to learn how to dispute. That's the bread and butter. That's the fish mechanism. That's you need to, that's what to get your foot in the door. That's what to get your foot in the door. And that's what I'm offering. That's one of my offers. My other offer is, like I said, if you have any type of negative accounts on your consumer report, all you gotta do is go to my website in the link in the descriptions and just check, whatever you have. Just hit me up and we can work on it. We'll take a look at it. I mean, we knocking shit out all day, every day. This is nothing. We getting stuff sitting off all the time. And I just told you how it's not magic. I'm using consumer law. I got AI doing the fucking footwork and the heavy lifting, and we suing these motherfuckers. You have to sue them. So this is what it is, and it's not hard. You don't even have to show your face. You can do everything on fucking line, do emails and shit. It's not hard. That's the sauce. You just need to know how to do this stuff, and it's not hard. And once you get this game, you're like, damn, because you're not gonna everything you do, you don't have to utilize it. You're not gonna have to utilize it. It's gonna make sense to utilize it. When stuff happens, why not utilize this? This is how you get what you want. Because a lot of times they don't care if they in the wrong. You nobody to them. These big corporations don't give a fuck about you or me. Nigga, they don't care, nigga. They don't. So you need to armor yourself. Like they say, armor yourself, the armor of God. You need to armor yourself. You know, it said my people will perish for lack of knowledge. You need to know this information. Everybody's ignorant of something. Ignorance means not knowing something you need to know. You need to know this information because they even say ignorance of the law is no excuse. Meaning, nigga, if you don't know the law, they don't give a fuck. It's no excuse. They still gonna railroad you. You need to know these things. How you not know this and you living in a world that where you have to apply it or you screwed. If you don't apply this, you're gonna always be at the bottom because companies not known for going to the top for playing fair. They known for cutting corners and fucking people over. So if you don't know this, how are you gonna defend yourself? Something always happen. I don't want to be looking for shit, the book, but stuff still be happening because it's gonna happen. I'm just glad that I had this information. I have to, to do what I need to do to make the things right that I need to make right, to seek the remedies that I need to seek. Because it's people been done wrong and they don't know this information. It's not right because they don't know this information. They just get done wrong like that, no matter what color you are. That's not right. But who the fuck am I to say who was right or wrong? It's still gonna continue. And by me knowing that, it would be retarded of me not to prepare myself. That's the least thing I could do. So I'm not letting nobody just fucking me over or doing my family wrong. People I care about. We're gonna nail them accordingly. I'm not talking about illegally. Everything I'm doing is legal. It's not even for the scary people. This is not even illegal. This is legal shit. Nothing I'm doing is illegal. We using their shit against them. Period. We didn't create none of this stupid ass shit. These stupid laws. So many laws you don't even know. It's crazy. But we're gonna use their shit against them to get what we want. I think, and I believe that owning your own business is the only real way to establish generational wealth, and buying your freedom and your time back. Because it's not really about racism no more. It's about nigga how much money, what bracket you fall in, how much money you got. I know money not everything. I'm spiritual, but can't be so holier than thou that I'm just fucking retarded. I see what's going on. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. And there's a lot of people who can make a change, especially if you're spiritual and you know the thing. What I'm talking about, you can utilize this fake ass currency to make stuff different. It's all type of stuff that's wrong. I know. They said we came from other places, even though we was here the whole time. I know about all that shit. So this is what I'm doing, and I'm trying to teach more people who are willing to learn. And I'm not going to overcharge you. I didn't pay thousands of dollars to learn some shit that didn't even get me nowhere, but it came handy later on, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So my service is any type of negative accounts you have in your consumer report, you can just look at my website, and we'll take care of whatever it is. Student loans, all that shit don't matter. Bankruptcy, all that, whatever, foreclosure, anything you could think that's negative. It's only so much negative stuff could go on your consumer report, but all of that stuff could come off just like it came on. It could. You got to just know the strategy. And if you're not trying to know the strategy, you just want it done for you, just hit me up. Righteous consultant. I'm not going to do a long rant. I'm just reaching out to you guys and trying to, give you guys an offer to see if you guys want it. Because I know that you guys need it. You just don't not aware that you need it. You need to be able to defend yourself when things happen. Stuff hit your account and you know it wasn't yours, and you show proof that it wasn't yours and came from somewhere that you didn't even do no business with. But that shit probably add into your bill money. And then the people that you owe the bill to, they don't give a fuck. They want their money type shit. Your bank probably acting stupid. What you gonna do? You need to know what to do. It's things you could do. It's things you could do. Your paycheck come late. Are you short on your paycheck? A lot of times companies do that on purpose because they want to, meet a type of quota. They want to hold, money, certain money in their accounts, to draw certain interests. When big companies do shit like that, that's a lot of times that shit don't even be errors. It be purposely. They steal time from employees and everything. It's already cases of this, well known, documented. I'm not naming anybody in particular, but it's already proven. This is not a conspiracy theory. So things will happen, and you just need to be ready. And I'm not even talking about you have to pay hands on nobody. All you got to do is use your mind, get what you want, utilize these steps, and they simple. And AI doing all the heavy lifting. You got to just know the steps. And if you want to learn that, tap in, Righteous Consultant. My link is in the description. I'll see y'all later. Peace.